Hello, Clubhouse Land. This is Wendy Lou with the Divine Feminine Ascension Council. We're coming to Bianca and I are here from the council, coming to you through the Inner Vibers Club. I see Amir. Welcome, Amir. We're just getting going. We were kind of waiting for people to come in. We are going to be talking today about how to stay in the flow of this energy during these huge, intense times of transformation on the planet. There's so much going on and so much chaos. How do we stay in our own highest vibration, right? And so, I can, I can start. I can start us in a little bit. Brett is here. Amir, Brett is my husband. Brett, this is Amir.
Hello. Hello.
He's the young man I told you about from
Hi,
Turkey
Brett. How are you?
that John and I met. So we are recording, FYI. If anybody has an issue with that, I don't think anybody will, but we are recording in order to put this just audio on our YouTube channel, Divine Feminine Ascension Council. Just full disclosure so everybody knows what we're doing. But we just do audio. We just do conversations on there just like this. And so we wanted to kind of combine the two rather than continue to do both. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
We wanted to combine the two and be able to kind of knock them both out with one fell swoop. So yeah, we're talking about how to stay in your own high vibration during all these changes. And Bianca and I were just talking about this, and Brett can talk about it too, is we have a complete and total lifestyle change upon us. Like we are embracing it and we're jumping. We're taking this leap of faith to this whole new lifestyle. And so how do you stay in so not only do we have the chaos going on in the world, we kind of also feel like we're creating chaos in our lives by uprooting everything, by choosing to make these big changes. Even though we know it's the right thing to do. And so how do you stay in your high vibration? And I think for me, I just want to touch on, for me, what I've been trying to do, just a lot more of internal centering and grounding, right? Just a lot more, as much as I can, staying grounded, staying in trust, that everything is happening for our highest good. And just trying to, connect more with my own energy field versus, and I've, for me too, I've kind of made a shift from, I used to do all this kind of meditation. My process was to connect to the, something above me and bringing it down. And I've realized now that everything is within. The entire universe is in us. And so I have been trying to do more just connecting right directly to my heart chakra and then expanding that, like finding the universe in there, finding source in there, finding my center and my grounding within me versus trying to find it somewhere out there, right? And bringing it in. And that has really helped me lately, that shift of, okay, well, why am I trying to search for something outside of me when I know it's all inside? And so that's been a big shift for me that I've been trying to focus on, and I think has helped. It's still, you can't, and I know Bianca can touch on this too. Like we want to talk about, how can you disconnect kind of from the chaos in the world without feeling like you're spiritually bypassing. And if you don't know what that is, spiritual bypassing is when you kind of ignore, the things that are coming up when you try to take shortcuts to healing, right? When you try to go around things that you're being faced with versus through them. And so is it okay to disconnect? Is that, and of course my answer is absolutely yes. Sometimes we have to disconnect from, we are already, if you're here in this room, you likely already are disconnected from the matrix, right? Like it's not just a metaphor anymore. We kind of know that it was a real thing. And the whole point of this journey, at least one of the steps for us, is to learn how to, once we're disconnected, and a lot of times for a lot of us, that happens for us. We don't do that intentionally. It happened for me 8 years ago. And so it's learning how to be in this world, in the matrix, but not of it, because I'm no longer plugged in. How do I still be a part of it and help this ascension along and do my job and engage in my mission while at the same time not plugging back in, right? So yeah, so I'll shut up and let some other people. Let me see, anybody else popping in yet? I'll try to watch too for people popping in, but so anybody can, Bianca, if you want to say a few words on how you're staying balanced and.
Yeah, absolutely. Wendy, I loved how you said to find your center within. And we did talk just briefly before this conversation about staying in a high vibrational state, right? Through these events that are occurring, not only in the outside world, the floodings, the fires, but also within ourselves, right? So we have all these events that are, as you said, Wendy, I love the word uprooting, right? That are uprooting systems, that are uprooting beliefs, and we can choose if we want to get sucked into the drama of all of it, or we can choose to stay in a neutral observer position. Well, and how do we do that? And also, when is it necessary to actually tune in, right? I think that's also important to say, because in some events, right, that are around us, we may actually want to take a stance. We may actually want to be there and speak our truth and be there with our opinion. And I think it's very important to be able to discern the things that we can change, right? There's a saying, be aware of what you can change, right? And do that, and be aware of what you can't change, and have the wisdom to know the difference, right? And I think it's a lot about that. It's a lot about discerning. When do I plug into all of it? When is it necessary for me to know the information because I'm taking part on that life, right? That's affecting me. That is part of my reality, because maybe I go to work every day and something happens there, right? I can't just unplug from that. Right, however, I can still choose the vibration. How am I doing it? How am I dealing with it? And what I am seeing a lot in my surroundings is the difference between going into the what ifs, what if this happens and what do we do then, versus just responding or reacting to what actually happens. Right, so getting out of the mental constructs, right? And I think that's actually being in a state of flow. A state of flow is just reacting and responding to events versus going into the what if this happens, what if this happens, right? The future thinking, because that's what we're creating. And do we really want to put that out in the world? Do we really want to think so much about the worst case scenario? Because our mental constructs are going to manifest, right? In some way.
Yes, yeah. Law of attraction.
Exactly. Or do we want to contribute by responding or reacting when something actually does happen in our environment, right? That needs our direct attention. Yeah. And I think that's like,
when we are affected, it's a trigger, right? It's just showing us what's coming up for us. So it's the next stepping stone.
Yeah, absolutely. And flow comes, and I think we talked about this last time as well, does really also come with trust. And I feel it comes also with trust in your own resources, right?
Yes.
When something happens in your immediate environment, do you trust in yourself that you have the ability to make something out of this, right?
Yeah. Versus allowing, and it's important too to try to, a lot of this journey is learning how to disconnect emotion from what's happening around you, because we'll connect, we'll assign emotion to something based on our past traumas, based on our baggage, based on the things that have happened to us, not just in this life, but in past lives that we've brought in with us. And so something might happen that is similar to something that happened, even if you're just observing it, you could be assigning emotion to it and then getting caught up in that emotional hamster wheel. And so, it's important to learn, exactly. So that you can really look at it, because emotion clouds the vision, right? When we're allowing the emotion to take over. And I think another important thing too to
Yeah.
talk about is, trust. Being in the flow doesn't mean that you're not healing. It doesn't mean that you're never triggered. It doesn't mean that, it means that you have gotten so good at this, right? Like I feel like a lot of us are there. We've just gotten so good at this process that we feel in the flow, even though triggers come. We
Yeah.
move through them. That's being in the flow. Is really, again, like you said, it goes
Yeah.
back to trust. Just trusting that
Yeah.
there's a reason for all this. It is going to be worth it. There is, I hate to say light at the end of the tunnel, because I feel like that keeps kind of the light far away. But there is a point to all this, that we are going to reap the rewards, at some point. And I don't mean, when we die and go to heaven, which is what, all the religions will teach you. Oh, the reward is after this life. No. The reward is learning how to bring that to this life. It's learning, it's realizing that it's all, again, like I said, it's all inside, right? It's all within us. The whole entire universe is in each of us. It's like that.
And I love how you said that, Wendy, because for many of us, the challenge is letting go of comforts on the outside, right? That's what the fires and the flooding and the earthquakes, the tsunamis, they're taking away a comfort or a stability that we have created around us, right? Houses, cars, other things, because they want to show us that we have the safety, the security, the resources, and the comfort within us always, and with each other as well. And that's also being in a state of flow, right? State of flow is being able to let go of material things that are being taken away from you. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, we're processing it, we're being sad about it, but we have given, as a species, we have given these things too much importance.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And particularly the assignments of the words of comfort, safety, and trust in this material world, where we're now called to come back into our own trust, right? And that is actually flowing with the changing world, is knowing that you have these resources within you to react in any situation, right? And that you can let go if you need to, right? Not everyone is going to be asked to do that, but some people will be. And then for others of us, it's going to be about something that is mine, right? For example, my house, my car. Can this be an ours, right? Letting go of the word that is mine, what I have created. Well, what if this is something that has been created for more than just me, because someone may need this, right, at some point?
Absolutely. It has to shift to a more community mindset. Like I immediately, when you said that, I thought like the garden concept too, right? Like we're moving, and people have been talking about this for decades already, is we're moving toward a community kind of construct where there will be a community garden. There will be a community healing center. There will be a community, school, which I get it. There are those now, but I'm talking like one big kind of entity that is all that embraces the spiritual teachings and what's going on, in the bigger picture. And yeah, it's all going to be and we're not talking about communism. We're not talking about socialism. We're just talking about taking care of each other. We're still, in fact, we're moving even more into the energy of being able to do what we came here to do, being able to really truly follow our passions.
Yeah.
Instead of having to do what our parents want us to do, or having to do something reliable that brings in a steady paycheck, that kind of stuff. Is yes, we want the, and they say every failed, system that we've lived under, there is something good about it, right? There's something that drew us to that. And so maybe that whole community mindset is the one good thing from the socialism, communism kind of mindset that we need to take from that. Is yes, we need to take care of each other, but that doesn't mean that we have to sacrifice if we have a little more than somebody else. That does not mean that at all, because it's going to be learning about how you're attracting that. Whatever you have or don't have, you're attracting that. And, that's in your energy. And so it's not our responsibility to take care of each other, right? It's not like, we always say it's our only job is to heal ourselves. But because we are connected, because we are, this unity consciousness, healing ourselves is healing everybody else. It's just a matter of, becoming aware of that, more aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't have to work, we don't have to struggle. My point too, and I tell my clients this all the time, is yes, we do struggle and we have suffering in this life, but when you become aware of certain things and you are able to be in the flow, even of like deep healing going on, like you're in the deepest, darkest corners of your shadows, but you're in the flow of it because you know what's going on.
Yes.
You have your tools, you know how to do this, you know how to work through it, not to try and ignore it and avoid it and whatever, is that there's no reason why. Yeah. Sorry. Yes, definitely. There's no reason why we can't thrive during this process.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is part of what this collective shadow, right? At the end of the day, if we look at it, we're going through a collective shadow. That's what it's showing us. It's really showing us to find the light in those corners and to find the experiences and the richness, right? If we were to stop labeling things that are happening, things that are changing as this is bad or an emotion, even depression, I can label it as bad, or I can look at it and I can say, okay, how do I work with this? And how can I enjoy being in different emotional states or different states in my material world? Having abundance, not having abundance, right? How can I flow also with those different states of being, right? That's what we mean with being in a high vibrational state no matter what, because that is the one thing that you can always choose.
Yes.
Right? Like nobody can tell you that you can't be in joy. Of course, you probably won't be in joy when your house is burning, right? I don't mean that. However, you can still hold this vibration of neutrality, right? And go into, okay, this is leaving me. Maybe it's leaving me for a reason and it's leading me somewhere else.
Right.
This is a start for something different.
Yeah.
And this is what the earth is doing, right? The earth is doing a huge cleanse. And it's also asking some of us to let go, right? To cleanse things that are no longer serving us, right? Because you can't lose something that is still serving you, that won't be in the energy field.
Right. That is true. And people forget about that, that this is really happening for us. Like we don't necessarily have to be conscious of the intention to let something go. Sometimes there are a lot of, you have a lot of help. And it may feel like, then you just have to kind of allow yourself to grieve as something goes, like, something that, a kind of misnomer is people think, oh, well, I knew that wasn't good for me. Why am I sad about it going? Well, because it was part of you, right? It was, the worst thing we can do is try to say, no, I shouldn't be sad about that. Because that person or that place or that job was bad for me. I shouldn't be sad about that. And, why am I so sad about it? Well, excuse me, my throat goes crazy, right? Like, Brett and I are doing a lot of releasing on letting go of this life that we, never thought that we would not be in. And it's a big deal. And it's a lot of processing, but we can be in the flow of that. And like you said, stay high vibe, but high vibe, people think, oh, well, forcing yourself to be positive all the time is spiritual bypassing. And I agree. There's a difference between forcing yourself to be positive all the time and staying in a high vibration. There's a big difference. Like positivity is another label, right? That we have put on certain emotions. When you're feeling this, then you're in a positive, whatever. You can be in the deepest, darkest corners of your energy and really working through the muck and still be in a very high vibration. So, and that's how you stay in the flow is realizing that you're not, goodness gracious, my throat's going nuts, that you're not, necessarily being pulled into a low vibration and need to, I guess what I'm trying to say is don't necessarily try to focus on being in joy, just like you said, being okay with feeling every emotion, being, realizing that every emotion is beautiful and every emotion, and emotion doesn't necessarily have to drag your vibration down. no matter what it is.
Exactly. And we're really letting go of this concept of controlling the outcome, right?
Yeah.
Like knowing what the outcome needs to look like or should look like, right? Because I mean, you're going on this huge journey, and you're shifting everything right now, you know, in your material world, and also, you know, in your emotional world, obviously, because you're changing so much right now in your life. And you can still go with the waves of the emotion without wanting to control them, and also without drowning in them, because that's what a lot of people are doing. They're going into their emotions, but they're drowning within them instead of letting them flow through them, because we're also being shown our deepest triggers right now. I mean, look at the world. We're really shown our deepest programs and our deepest triggers.
Yeah,
right?
that's for sure. And in, you know, within, as within, so without, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Can we allow them in? Can we welcome them in? And can we allow those things that need to shift in our lives to shift, right? And on the whole world, can we allow the whole world to change? Can we allow the systems to collapse,
right.
right?
And can we allow
Yeah.
ourselves to, goodness gracious, my throat is my truth gauge, right? Like when I'm, you know, when we're speaking deep truth, my throat always goes crazy. But yeah, can we allow ourselves to be in and move through the fear without judging?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And can we trust that what is happening in the world is happening for us?
Yeah.
Right? As you
Yeah.
said, Wendy, before.
I mean, there can't be creation without destruction first, right? We have to clear away the old before we can create the new. And because it's happening on such a large scale right now, you know, it looks like the world is coming to an end. It looks like everything's burning. You know, when it is, but it's only burning what we don't need anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch. I'm having trouble seeing it like below the screen. Go ahead, Amir, please join in.
No. I was just going to say, I don't know. Just about the title. I think we're just overthinking about something, like a lot of things actually. It's already going up, is already flowing our lives. So maybe we're just overthinking, and that makes it harder to flow it. So I think we should just, I don't know, lay back and, you know, like, the thing that's happening in life of everybody from all around the world is just say, just like a regular person, just goes to home, no, just goes to work, then comes to home and still in stress, still just, you know, just have some stress with their, I don't know, just wife or children or anything with work. But then they go sleep, then they go do the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe the thing that we should learn is just lay down, just lay back, lean back, and just not think about everything. Just let it go. Because when I was in the vacation, like less than 1 week ago, my sister and I just went there. It was a quite good place. Like she was always just thinking about the money, that how she's gonna just pay it back, or blah blah blah, just stuff like that. But I was like, okay, it's not time to just think about those. I can just think about this when I need to get the money. So I just leaned back. I just felt the blue sky, the sea. I could hear the sea. There's a big sea here. So like I was feeling the vacation. There's the problem of our humanity maybe in those days. We are like a human, and only thing that we do is do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Go home, go work, go home, go work, do the same thing, do the same thing. Nothing is changing. Even though you do something different, you still think about the same thing you do, about your work, about your home. Just it's life, because you gonna die someday. Maybe tomorrow, maybe right now,
Right.
5 seconds later, maybe 18 years later. You can't know that. So
Right.
I don't know. We should just, rather than think about something, that overthinking or overstating something,
Right. Yeah.
just let it go. Maybe, yeah, it had a English subtitle also. I have seen a video. It was made by my old friend that is famous right now in Turkey. She is a YouTuber, and he just shows that the everything that we say, we call everything, is actually nothing. Just, there was a video, maybe everyone in the world has seen it. Like, it gets zoom out from the world to the other galaxies, to just to get zooms out for like a massive times,
Yes. Yeah.
and it shows like you're just like nothing
Yeah. Yeah.
in
Yeah.
I
those
think I've seen that. Yeah.
big places. Yeah, so like, just start from the dinosaurs to Big Bang Theory, or just getting civilized,
Yeah.
or just having civilizations, to Middle Age, then French Revolution, Renaissance, the getting more fabricated from all over the world, and like, it's like nothing when you see this video. So maybe we should just stop thinking for a while.
I
But
agree, Amy. That's beautiful.
Yeah. That, I mean,
I mean, like, not
that's definitely the key, like to get out of the mental mind, right? But it brings up the question, why is
exactly.
it so hard for, like, I definitely feel like it's easier for some people to be in that flow than it is for others. And, for me, with being a healing practitioner and having clients, right? Like, it's yeah, it's easy to say, well, we're just overthinking and just let go, but for some people that does not come naturally, and so you kind of have to walk them through it, right? Like how to, and you have to kind of allow them to be in that overthinking mode for a while so that they can see how futile it is, right? They can see that they're on this hamster wheel, and as long as they stay on that hamster wheel, they're not going to move forward. They're not going to, nothing will change. And so sometimes
Exactly.
sometimes it just takes some drastic, like I've done pretty drastic visualizations where we've actually taken, like a flamethrower and a sledgehammer and to destroy those hamster wheels in their mental mind, just to get them, out of that trap, because it's a trap. But I do think that it speaks to kind of where you're at, Amir. Like, I think you came in ready to go. You know who you are. Like, you are definitely a younger generation, but I don't even really think it necessarily has much to do with age. But you definitely have come in to kind of live by example in that energy, like just the letting go, the not getting trapped in the monkey mind, we call it, right? But for
And
those of us older
particularly,
people, we have a little bit of work to do to get there. But
yeah,
that's definitely the point. I absolutely agree.
and particularly the money program, right? That's what keeps us
Yes.
overthinking a lot. That's one of the
Exactly.
biggest
And
controlling
yeah,
things.
you shouldn't actually blame yourself too much, because
Right.
that is the system.
Yeah.
That is what's happened. Like, you cannot just like select everything, because it is the world. It is the system of the world. You cannot change it. Maybe you can if you
Well,
have a lot of money.
collectively we are, but yeah,
But
on the individual level, we feel pretty powerless. So that's why they say all we can do
yeah,
is focus on our own journey, right? And that's what brings about the change.
yeah. If you don't have the like massive power, I guess you cannot just change the world. But
Right.
there's a power of yours.
Yeah.
Everybody has a
It's a
power. They can
puzzle.
just
It's a
change
puzzle, and it's
themselves.
not complete, without, if one piece is missing,
Exactly.
it's
Like,
not complete.
yeah, and like puzzle starts with just fitting the first
Right.
puzzle at the same place, at the right place. If you just do the first one, then like the rest of it's gonna come.
Right.
You're gonna do
But
it.
sometimes it takes
Exactly.
days to get those first two pieces together, right? And the cool thing
Yeah,
is, it doesn't even matter where in the picture you start. right? Like
Yeah,
it's just
you
the
like
first few weeks.
sooner or later you're gonna just finish it.
Exactly. And like you said, once you get going, it goes faster and faster and faster.
So, like, maybe rather than we are just changing the world here, maybe we should just change ourselves first. Maybe some of us did it, maybe
Absolutely.
some people didn't. So,
Well, and the people
like,
that, we're kind of at a time right
just
now, the people who are still resisting with like everything that they have, right? Holding on for dear life. It's going to be like, I hate to say it this way, but I've been seeing this for a while. Like the people who are still holding on, it's going to be ripped from their grasp now. And it's going to, the more you resist, the more it hurts. And that's what I tell everybody. I'm like, and I get it. It's hard to let go, but all you have to do every day is set that intention, right? And it doesn't mean it's going to be super easy, but at least you'll open that pathway up with the intention. I always say intention is everything. If we set an intention every day, I'm going to let go of everything that I don't need anymore to allow the good stuff to come in, right? Allow the new to come in. Then no matter what, comes that day, even if you have a little trouble with it, you set that intention from the beginning. And you'll do it. But yeah, we're at a time right now where it's going to be, we're going to see a lot of people suffering and struggling. The people who cannot, they just don't think they can survive without the old construct. And of course, they can.
Point, right? It comes to that choice point where, we are deciding if we want to let go of that old program of struggling, because that's all that we know, right? That's what we know. That's what we've done in past generations. So this is a huge program that is running.
Yes.
It's the fear of struggling, the fear of failing. And with that, we're always in the hamster wheel of struggling. So what if, as Emir said, right? What if we can relax and let go and trust, right? And get rid of this addiction. It feels like fear and struggling has become an addiction, right? The drama.
Well, and it's a badge of honor, right? Like it's a status that we wear.
So much. Yeah, so great now, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So just like just a final thing. Just could I ask you for something? Just all of you.
Absolutely.
For this group who
Throw it
are
out
here.
there, Amir.
Just if I'm not wrong, it's gotta be 1:15 p.m. in US right now. Maybe
in the middle, yeah.
It can be different from the clocks. So like it's afternoon or noon or anything like that. So just after this conversation or whenever you wish, just I guess you're not just working. Maybe you're in a break or just like when you have a day off, maybe like today, maybe at the weekend, just drive, just just feel something, just feel the life, how to live. Just go somewhere. Do not think about anything. Just play your favorite music. Just go. Just think about something. Just think about not thinking about something.
Right. Just allow
just lay down.
Yeah.
Lean back. Just that's life, not just going work every day. And like probably you can do that today if you are just day off. Maybe Sir Anil is from Turkey also.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wanted to welcome Anil. Am I saying it right? Chime in whenever you
Hi, everyone.
can, please.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Anil, we're just kind of talking about how each of us is kind of handling the chaos in the world and trying to stay in our own high vibration while still, doing all the work that's coming up, for everybody to evolve, right? Like we're being asked to evolve ourselves on a grand scale. And so how do we do that? How do we stay centered with all the craziness going on in the world? So how are you navigating that, if you don't mind sharing?
How I deal with all this rush in the world? Do you mean?
Just kind of all the craziness in the world, yeah. With this, with with this everything that's going on. I don't even want to say the words because they. I don't want to ping anything, but there's just everything going on. How different it is all of a sudden. Like the last 2 years, the world has transformed quite a bit, and a lot of people are seeing it as this negative thing. And, for a lot of people, people in my circle anyway, we're seeing this as the transition period to a better world. But, we have to still kind of work through this transition period. So how do we keep, a positive attitude, I guess? How do we keep the hope? How do we keep our hope alive when everything is kind of looks like it's burning to the ground? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good question. Well, when you ask it out of the blue, I wasn't ready for this question.
Did you not study for this quiz, Anu?
Yeah, yeah. Then, if you ask me how it's going to be, am I hopeful or pessimist about the future? I'm optimist about future.
Great.
Yeah, because
that's super important.
If you are talking about this COVID situation, I mean, I think you were trying to highlight the COVID here.
Right. Yeah. Without saying it.
Emphasize.
Okay.
Yeah. Without saying it. Yeah. I think COVID will be over in 6 months or maybe 1 year.
I agree. I agree.
That's my estimate. I hope I am right. Yes, and of course, COVID will have some effects on our lives.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Some temporary, some not temporary. Some are going to be with us forever. For example, in this period, I learned how to be happy alone at home. Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah. Normally, I'm not someone who gets bored easily when I am with myself, but in this COVID period, I spent many time with myself, and I think I have achieved master level in this.
Yeah. Well, it's like we were asked to.
I don't need people.
We were asked to really get to know ourselves. For a lot of people, it was the first time ever, right? And to fall in love with ourselves. Again, probably for the first time for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. My life before COVID wasn't that much social, actually. However, it was a bit challenging for me to get familiar with this more loneliness.
Yeah.
And
it was definitely a different energy, even for people who were, kind of introverts already. It was definitely different.
Do you guys, all of you, define yourself as introverts?
I definitely do. Yeah.
And you, Bianca?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm actually both.
Yeah.
How can I just say any of it?
They call ambiverts to those people in between.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, probably I'm ambivert.
Yeah.
Have you heard about it? Okay, so I need to conclude my arguments here. After COVID, personally, I will be enjoying the things I couldn't do in the COVID period more and more. I mean,
right.
I will, how to say this? My English is not that good, so.
Oh, you're doing great.
A bit.
You're very clear. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Thank you. So this means I will be doing things by knowing what they mean to me, because I know the feeling when I lack them, when I am doing without them. So they are much more valuable to me right now. They will be much more valuable to me, and I will enjoy every second of life. I hope from 6 months after now. Yeah, I already, by the way, booked some flight tickets. I will start traveling abroad as of October.
Great. Yeah. See, you're not
I
waiting
will
till
travel
it's all
to,
over, right? And we.
Oh, bring me
yeah,
too.
you
Bring me
too.
too.
Then you can book some tickets because as Turkish people we can get visa again, Schengen visa for European Union.
Oh, good.
So I bought 3 tickets for different times. So at the moment, that is why I am extremely happy and enthusiastic about future.
Yeah, good.
So this is my answer to your question, Wendy.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, and it's so important too to try to see. You know, they say, what's the saying we have here is try to see that you can't. Sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. Like sometimes in a period of chaos, we can't see the good that's coming from it. And you know, a lot of the good that has come from COVID has been people being kind of forced to really take a look at themselves and look at the things in their lives that are not serving them, the things that they're perpetuating that are not serving them, the things that they're holding on to that are holding them back from really achieving the things that they came here to achieve. And again, it's about, you know, this journey is really about everybody remembering their, you know, their purpose and why they came here. And it's not to suffer and struggle. It's to find our passion and to follow our passion and to, you know, it's going to look different for everybody, but we essentially all came here to heal the world. But the way we chose to, you know, to bring that in, like I always say, we all came in to express love, but we all came to do it in a very unique way. And so it's about finding that way, like how, you know, how did we agree before we ever were born? You know, how did we agree to express love in the world? And you know, this period, you know, we needed this period of shutdown, you know, and not just shutdown of the physical world, but kind of shutdown of our lives, so that we were forced to go inward and get to know ourselves and really figure out what was working for us and what's not. And for a lot of people, nothing was working for them. And so that's why we're seeing all this drastic change, you know, and people are completely, again, we were talking about uprooting energies earlier. People are seeing a complete and total uprooting of their lives and everything changing. And so it's, so how do you, you know, so it's just important to, and, you know, staying in the flow, we were talking about, you know, flow doesn't necessarily mean no struggle, right? Flow doesn't necessarily mean nothing is happening. Flow just means being able to see what's coming and move through it and appreciate every emotion while it's happening.
And we totally like needed the pause to break the cycle of the hamster wheel. Right, as we talked about, going to work every day, doing the same things every day, where you just didn't have time to have that pause, and we were forced to pause, to not go anywhere and to sit in silence. And for some people this was really hard, right? They were resisting to just be with their emotions, because we're so used to being distracted all the time. We're so used to moving around, going to work, eating, meeting people, being distracted by the TV, the radio, whatnot, right? And for some people it was really hard to just sit and be by themselves and really take a deep look at how they've been running that hamster wheel, doing the same things every day, right?
Yeah, and the more people who break free of their own individual hamster wheels, the more we break free of the big one, right? The one that's been kind of governing our collective lifestyle. And, you know, we were talking about money too. Money is a huge program. And, you know, my personal belief is it was created to be a hamster wheel, to be a prison of sorts, to keep us from, you know, becoming aware and realizing what we could really accomplish. And so we've come to this point of hating money, right? Like we hate money. And really it's just energy. It's just, we're assigning these emotions and these labels to money when money is not good or bad inherently. It's just energy. And so we're going to shift that to, you know, like people talk about, oh, well, I can't wait till we get rid of money and we go back to the bartering system. And great. Yeah, I'm all for that. whatever works best for the planet, but we're never going to let go of the money system until we stop hating it. We can't be in hate. We can't be in resentment. We can't be in fear of it. We have to be able to look at it and see it for what it is. And that's just part of the bigger process of, and so it's all these things that like feel like they're keeping us from being in the flow, right? All these kind of interruptions that really we're more in charge than we think, right? We're more like we're in charge of this. And everything that comes up is just as my friend John, who runs this club, Inner Vibers Club, he says, we are the sky and everything that comes up is just a cloud. And the clouds are always moving and they're just fluff, there's really nothing to them. And so if you can just be the sky, like Amir was saying, that's pretty much what you were saying earlier, Amir, is just be the sky, let the clouds move through you, then this process will be a lot easier.
Yeah. Absolutely. If we're not attaching ourselves to anything, right? We talked about not attaching ourselves to any outcome, letting go. Of course, you want to have dreams and you want to have, visions, right? But if we let go of the collective outcome, right? Like it needs to be this way. The shift needs to happen this way, right? Or when we're done, it needs to look a certain way. Right? Then we can be much more in a state of flow and we can see what we can change right in front of our door, because that's the only thing that we can change, right? We can change our vibration. We can change the way how we deal with our neighbors, how we deal with people who we meet every day, how we deal with our children, with our pets, with our environment, right? And if everyone does that, then we are already globally changing everything, right? By just changing our own little bubble of reality that we're living in, right? And just being more kind, being more compassionate, and being more accepting of the fact that people are, feeling heavy emotions. People are maybe not in that state of flow. People are being attached to things that they probably just lost, right?
Not judging, right? And not judging each other for wherever everybody's at.
Yeah. Can we be present with that, right? Can we flow with the surge of emotions and with the surge of trauma that has been released? And can we witness and observe without making it wrong, right? Without judging it as this is wrong. This shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
This shouldn't happen during the time of healing, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we do like to keep these at an hour, so I am going to start to wrap it up. But please, yes, go ahead, Anil. We'll let everybody kind of say any final...
I would like to contribute to the question of how do we flow with the changing world.
Yes, please.
If I may, but maybe we can do it in the next session if you are going to close the room.
We'd just like to keep it around an hour, and we're just at an hour now. But please go ahead. I mean, I definitely don't want to cut anybody off.
Okay, because maybe it may take a bit long.
Sure.
Not. Okay, so recently I have finished a book by Yuval Noah Harari. The name of the book is Homo Deus. And in this book, the author points a very crucial topic, I think. He says that there will be redundant people in the future with developments in technology, in artificial intelligence and robots, etc. So I looked at my own profession and wanted to see how it's going to be with my profession in the future. Like, is it going to still exist or not? Or is it going to be one of the tasks that will be easily carried out by robots or AI? Then after my research, I found out that my job will not be one of those jobs that will exist in like 20, 30 years from now, maybe, or maybe 40. I'm an accountant, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, so I forgot to tell that.
That's okay.
So after this, after um, discovering this fact, I started to move to other areas, and now I am learning new skills such as data science, and I also plan to start learning software engineering. I mean, how to write code, etc. Yeah, so this is one of the things I do to flow with the changing world.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm done speaking.
And so, yeah, and that's important too. And I don't think, computers aren't going anywhere anytime soon, and they're only going to evolve with us and become more intuitive, right? And so the coding is going to change too, but going with the flow, getting into it now, I think is really important. And if that's where you're led, then that's definitely a stepping stone for you to, move away from kind of the traditional accounting, right, of how it's done today. You'll be able to go with the flow.
I wouldn't call myself a traditional accountant. I mean, I always try to keep up with the new technologies, and I always try to improve myself in digital areas. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I think we have a delay too, so it's kind of hard to, I always feel like I'm talking on top of people, but yeah, I think that's great. And that's all we can do, right? Is I just looked at the clock and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, by the way. That's a good sign. I love seeing that combination because that's a message of forward movement, right? But yeah, so we just have to we just have to be okay with letting go of what we've been doing, right? And the way we've been doing it.
Yes.
So yeah, that's super important. I think Amir's got this down. I think Amir could teach a class on how to be the sky and just let go. So yeah, that's where
just a final thought. Just as I said, just do not just think about something, just make it happen. Just like I said, just let it go.
right.
As I said, it must be afternoon in USA, so
yeah, we've got the whole day ahead of us yet.
Yeah, and Brett is your wife.
Brett's my husband.
Your husband.
He likes to listen.
Yeah,
he might be doing other stuff too. I'm not sure what he's doing, but
if he's available, just be together. Just drive somewhere without thinking about what we're gonna do about the money issues or blah blah anything like that.
Oh my gosh, did you hear that, hun? Amir's got some really good advice. Yeah, because that's coming through really, really strong for us right now as we let go of a lifestyle that we have become accustomed to and embrace a whole new. We're basically selling our house and buying an RV and going to be nomads for a while. And it's weird. It's weird. It's scary.
Just like old Turks.
Yeah, we're going to be nomads. So we're going to be gypsies. But yeah, so it's a big deal, and it's going to happen.
Digital nomads, or
it's going to happen fast. Like in the next few months, I think we'll be on the road. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's great advice, Amir. I absolutely love it. For anybody listening, just try to be.
Yeah, you're from US, right? As I remember.
Yes.
Was it California?
We're in Chicago? Colorado. We're actually both from Minnesota, but it doesn't matter.
Colorado.
We're American.
Dude, isn't it called like Minnesota, Minneapolis?
Yep. Brett's from Minneapolis. From there. Yeah, it's cold there. And when you grow up there, you either hate it or you love it. There's kind of really no middle ground. And I'm one of those people who loves the cold and the snow. So, but yeah, it is cool.
And
we're actually the final back thing that direction. So because we're in Colorado now, we're in the desert. It's hot here, and we're kind of done with that.
Yeah.
So, but I did want to say too, like John, who Amir, John, he is in charge of this room. He couldn't make it today. He actually had a funeral to attend in his little village in Portugal. One of the shopkeepers passed away, so he was going to attend a funeral, but he wanted to be here, but he is going to try and be here we are trying to do this every Tuesday, Bianca and I, from now on. Absolutely. But what I wanted to say, one of the things John always says is, it's what we have to do is release the energy of wanting so that we can move into the energy of having. And I think, Amir, that's basically what you said, right? Like, stop overthinking it, stop trying to force it to come to you, and let it come.
Yeah, and like probably after we just end this room, I'm gonna send you a video. As I remember, it had English subtitles.
Okay.
So just watch it about the things that I just mentioned. Maybe you can just send it to Bianca, and I just send it to Soriano also. So like, even though you don't go somewhere to just listen yourself, just put on your headphones, just lay down, close the light, just like exit the light, just lay down, lean back, and let it go, let it flow. Just
awesome.
Just don't think.
Please send that on over, and I'll try to share it with everybody. So yeah, I do want, Bianca, did you want to say anything to lead us out?
I just wanted to say that I'm really grateful for this beautiful conversation that we had. And yeah, as Wendy said, we'll be here every week, hopefully,
with a different topic.
And exactly, let us know if you have any, ideas on topics, on content that would be interested. And yeah,
we'll talk about pretty much anything.
Exactly. Yeah, and we'll flow with the information that is coming.
Very good. Thank you all. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all so much. Again, we try to do this every Tuesday. Anil, I did go in and follow you. Are you if you're not already in Inner Vibers Club, please go ahead and join Inner Vibers Club. That way you'll see, what we're doing. I'm sorry, what?
I just follow the club.
Yeah. Well,
I just follow the club.
We'll do it within the club, but
20 seconds ago.
Okay. Yeah, that works. Because all of these will be open to the public. We just kind of do it from the Inner Vibers Club, which is a club that John started, my friend John Bass. So, so thank you everybody for being here. We will see you hopefully next Tuesday, and everybody have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.